Carly. I'm so excited. So please share, what you do, who you are, and what kind of led you to this career path that you're taking.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you for having me. My name is Carly. I live here in Austin and I run an organic juice company called Alchemy Juice. We do raw organic cold pressed juice delivery. We have a cafe in Austin. We're opening up another one in Dripping Springs. And that all really emerged from my own personal healing journey. So I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer November 2019. I had been a health coach for 10 years prior to that. So I was really familiar with the idea that the body is a self-healing mechanism. So the immediate recommendation for me was surgery, radiation, hormone therapy replacement. And it's a matter of like my doctor telling me I have cancer, like we'll see you in the hospital for surgery next week. And it was like, a lot. It was very full on, as you could imagine. It was a lot to digest. And essentially, I just took some time to kind of see what other therapies I could incorporate into my healing journey. And that 1 week turned into, 1 month, that turned into 1 year, 2 years. And I began to really create the highest level of wellness and vitality I'd ever experienced by really committing to a intense detoxification journey. So business ownership, healing journey, and I have two little boys, a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old. So just kind of riding the waves of all of those and finding a way to like integrate them and find peace throughout all of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that you used your health journey to create this business, which is incredible, y'all. It's like my favorite juice ever.
Oh, thank you.
Do you feel like that was hard in the midst of it when you were, trying to do your health things, but, then start a company?
So I actually never set out to start a company. When I was diagnosed and I kind of turned to these really valuable healing tools, juicing was one of the things that I used most. And so I was doing 64 ounces of raw organic cold pressed juice every morning. It was taking me about an hour to juice it every single day. And it was creating that and coffee enemas, which I'm sure we'll get to later as part of my daily routine. But I would say juicing and coffee enemas were two of the things that had the most profound impact on my overall well-being, my overall vitality. And so everything that I was doing was very, very expensive. As you can imagine, I was working outside of the medical model, like insurance was not covering the things that I was doing. I had done a GoFundMe and kind of went through that money. So I was like, okay, I need about $1,000 a month to continue doing what I'm doing. Like in addition to my lifestyle, I need $1,000 a month to do red light therapy and hyperbaric oxygen chambers and all these things that I was doing. So at that point, people had kind of been watching my healing journey on Instagram, and I knew I was juicing an hour every single morning because there wasn't that available in Austin. There was no one who was creating therapeutic grade healing juices. And so I was like, I need $1,000 more a month. I'm sure other people will want this juice. Like I definitely did not set out to create like what Alchemy has become. I was just going to do this little side business juice for people at home and make my money so I could keep healing. And so it honestly wasn't hard because it was just came out of this deep reservoir of like passion, like true passion to be like, you guys, I have goosebumps talking about it because it's like my life has been so deeply and radically impacted. And I was already someone who had a very holistic mindset, who was already shopping at farmers markets and doing yoga and all that. Like, you got to start drinking this juice. I will make it for you. I will drop it at your doorstep. I just need you to drink it. And so within within a couple months that escalated from me like juicing at home to being like, okay, we need a commercial kitchen. And I remember my mom and my husband and I sitting down because we had all been working on it together and being like, are we going to do this? Like, are we going to like, because we had to buy a $12,000 juicer. That was going to be like our first big investment for the company. And I was like, if we're like, we really decided, like, are we going to just say like, listen, that was fun. I'm going to have to find another way to make some extra money because it was getting bigger than we intended, or are we going to go for it? And having been diagnosed with cancer, I kind of was fearless. I was like, I just like, was like, let's go for it. Worst case scenario, it fails, we do something else, you know what I mean? So we went
Yeah.
for it. And so my point in saying all that was that it was very organic. It wasn't
Yeah.
like I'm in the midst of this healing journey, now let me write a business plan and make this business that, it just kind of
Yeah.
flowed. It flowed from divinity and from source. It flowed from my heart. It was meant to be here. I always say
Yeah.
alchemy has like a personality of her own. And so I'm just like, okay, where do you want me to go next? Like, show me the way,
Yeah.
so.
I will say it even came from like an outside perspective because I watched your journey. And I don't know how I found you. Maybe it was through Dr. Katie Keller. But I just remember just being like, wow, this looked like it flowed. And it's like so meant to be so easily. Not saying that if it's not easy, it's not meant to be, but it just felt like, oh, it just everything came together, which was amazing.
Let me just tell you, it's a lot harder now. We have a lot of
Yeah.
employees, you know what I
Sure.
mean? Like we have a lot of employees, we're playing a bigger
Yeah.
game. It is like the business side is hard, but the
Yeah.
creation of it was easy.
Yeah, for sure. So walk us through your morning routine. This is everything from like when you wake up to beverage of choice to lifestyle things you do to get your day started, food, all the things. I know you got some good tricks up your sleeve.
Okay, so I feel like we need to be really realistic with this and preface this. Like I said, I have a 3-year-old and I have a 5-month-old. Okay, y'all. So like, I'm going to give you like, okay, on a day that my husband's out of town traveling and our au pair has the day off, it looks like get up, put my feet on the ground, be conscious that I'm awake, say like, thank you, God, for another day. Thank you for the breath in my lungs. Every single day I express gratitude for being alive because I know that that's a gift. And that might be my morning routine when I have my kids and they're calling for me and
Amazing.
they're pulling on me. Like that could be it. On a day, it's a weekday. Our au pair Carol gets started. Ross is around as well. I actually really like to get up at 4:30 in the morning. That is my sacred time. I know it sounds early, but also understand I go to sleep early for that to happen. So if my youngest goes to bed at about 8 o'clock, my 3-year-old will go to bed at 8:30, who's still, by the way, sleeping in my bed. So I go to sleep with him at 8:30. Okay. So I'm going to bed at 8:30 in order to get up at 4:30. So I get up first thing in the morning. I come into my office. I usually just have dim lighting. I will sit. This is one of my favorite books, True Refuge by Tara
Ooh.
Brach. It's an incredible book for mindfulness and meditation. And normally I will just flip it open and I will find one of her meditations. And some of it's just mindfulness breathing. Some of it is, do you make regular visits to yourself? Like it gives me a question prompt. Like,
Oh,
I don't know, like it allows me just to be with myself for a few breaths in the morning. And I also really love Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. So those are kind of my two teachers that I'll look to first thing in the morning. Tara, I'll read a passage from her book. Dr. Joe, I will do his morning meditation. I actually attended his week-long meditation retreat in Cancun
wow.
last summer. It was life-changing. Like
Wow.
do whatever you can to get to one of those and to learn about him. It's absolutely wild what he teaches. So yeah, those are my first two. And I kind of will just do some stretching and then I'll work out. Like for me, working out is, yeah, I appreciate having like a strong body, but it's really more for mental health, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I'll move my body in some way, and that's just another opportunity for me to drop into my body. And after working out, I will do my coffee enema. So as a woman on a detox and healing journey, I'm very focused on detox as a daily lifestyle. I think that detox, we've really gotten away. It's become trendy in the way that it's like, do a 3-day juice fast once a year and you've detoxed. Well, we live in 2022 where there's toxic air, water, soil surrounding us at every moment of every day. It's okay. I mean, don't like freak out about that because there's something that we can do about it. We just need to be focused on detox on in a daily way. Working out is detoxing, drinking clean water, eating clean food, focusing on liver detox. So my coffee enema is something that I do actually every single day in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been doing it every day for almost 2 years now. I think that a lot of people say, well, I'm just getting started. You can do it 1 to 2 times a week. Like now I'm in I was in a very intense phase of healing. And now that I am cancer free, I'm in a maintenance phase. Right.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm doing something a little bit different than just the everyday person, but I still focus on doing a coffee enema every single day. And then after coffee enema, I will replace electrolytes. So don't worry. Like, a big question about coffee enemas is like, does it affect the gut microbiome? Colonics have the ability to do that. Colonics are a much deeper colon cleanse. And I do say take a probiotic after that. Coffee enemas won't do that, but you do want to replace electrolytes. So for me, obviously I'm having a green juice from Alchemy. My favorites are like our pure greens, are just greens with ginger, or our greens with apple.
I do love your
And
sweet greens.
oh,
So good.
it's so good. Have you had the new spicy greens, the jalapeno pineapple?
I have not, but I'm also such a baby with spices. Like
Oh,
my palate is just a 1 year old.
okay. It's actually got some kick to it, so maybe you shouldn't have it. But I'll have a green juice, and then I feel like at that point, that is me getting energetically dressed for the day. So now when my baby cries for me or Cruz comes out asking for num nums, I'm like, all right, let's go, because I poured into myself first. Like, my cup is full. And that is one thing that I really, really focus on with how busy I am. Do not think it's cool to be burnt out. Like, I don't think it's
Yeah.
fun or cool to be burnt out and overwhelmed. I definitely have overwhelmed moments for sure, but my daily practices focus on pouring into me so I can show up as a better mother, a better wife, a better leader, a better business owner. And I think that feeling of like, that feels selfish totally got eradicated because I had to start doing it for a cancer diagnosis. And so it totally shifted my lens through which I pour into myself. So that's a little bit about my morning routine. Yeah. Green
Yeah.
juice, coffee enemas, movement, arriving into my body with intention. And that's kind of like what the best days look like. And the other ones are
Nice.
feet on the floor. Thank you, God, I'm alive. And I go with my day,
That's amazing. And that's why we started this podcast, to show people that it's not selfish. Like, we are doing it all. We're raising a family. We are running a business. Well, maybe you're not running a business, but you're high level in your career. It doesn't have to be. And I think slowly this message is coming out of like, burnout isn't cool. Like, you don't have to live your life like that. And you shouldn't wait until you get a cancer diagnosis or something severe to actually start taking action. There's, like you said, there's so much you can do and slowly integrate into your life. I know when I tell people about like my like nighttime routine, with like red light therapy and sauna, they're like, that's a lot. But I'm like, I didn't start there. I started with one thing, and then I slowly added something else. Also, as we budgeted and like brought more things into, our day. So no matter what you do, like, you can easily start a coffee enema or like choose something else to start with, and then slowly build up your routine.
Well, I want to say, I think that's a really good point, is like starting where you are. Like, at this point, I have a wellness clinic in my home. It took me
Goals.
2.5 years to get there, so it's like, it's easy for someone like me. Gosh, I do this all the time. Like, I listen to a podcast, or I get excited or inspired by someone, and I'm like, Ross, we need these 12 items. He's like, oh my gosh, Carly, come on. But so it's just like, start with one. Like, what does the red light pull at your heartstrings because you feel like you can lay in bed and do it? Or is morning a better time? So maybe you want to buy the $20 coffee enema bucket and get started there. Like, over time, your either morning or evening routines will develop as you like, they'll grow with you, I guess is what I want to say. Like, don't worry about doing it all at once. You're catching me at one moment when I've been in like the 3 deepest years of healing I've ever experienced in my life. Right. So
that reminds me of something that's trending around social. It's like, my husband should be glad I don't buy expensive purses and stuff. But then like the next slide is just like, but you buy all this organic food and all these things. Like, that's me. That's absolutely me.
Yep. The $2,000 medical grade ozone machine back here. And exactly. I know. But I'm like, it's for all of us, babe. It's for all of us.
Exactly. So I know you said you go to bed at 8:30. What does your nighttime routine look like leading up to that? And also, I know nighttime's a little crazy usually for us as a family. I know everyone's just kind of trying to juggle the kids and stuff, but
Well, nighttime is really dedicated to being together as a family. I feel like I have that morning time. I'm with the kids in the morning. Then the day is just work and creation and leadership. And then it's like after 6 o'clock, we're together as a family. And, it's definitely doesn't look like us sitting around the kitchen table every night. I wish that was it, but our kids are just at that age where like, that's just not going to happen. But we have this little small table on the floor in our living room, and we will sit around that and kind of like eat and say a prayer and connect at the end of the evening. And I guess it's just my evening routine isn't as methodical as my morning routine, other than being mindful that I'm taking space from my day. Sometimes my husband will like come up behind me and like turn my knob, and like he'll like pretend like there's like a wind down my back and be like, okay, now we're going in like from like CEO Carly, now we're going into Mama Carly, now we're going. And so like, I really try and be mindful of the transitions in my day. So after that 6 o'clock time, it's like, okay, Mama Carly, soft, relaxed, like presence, we're eating, we're investing in one another. Reading books with my son, cuddling, laughing, we like games, just like being mindful of honoring the phases of the day. And that nighttime is really about the family for us.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Do you do anything like a face wash routine, or do you do red light usually at night, or anything in that regard?
Yeah. So in regards to therapies, red light, I'll actually normally do in the morning. So after I do my coffee enema, shower, I'll lay down and do localized red light right over my thyroid, just because I had surgery in that place. So that's helped with repair and really helped with the scar. In the evening, I do have a skincare routine. I like Primally Pure's products a lot. I like Faith skincare products a lot. And then I have a molecular hydrogen water ionizer that I've been making my own facial toners with. So I will do those as well. So I'll kind of like wash and, do my toner with some essential oils in it. And we brush our teeth as a family. We floss. Like, I don't know, like, I guess that doesn't even seem that special, but yeah, I guess I do some of those, and be really mindful of the products that I put on my skin.
Yeah, I do like oil pulling at night. Like that's usually part of my routine, stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, even oil pulling I do in the morning. I am definitely more of a morning person. Yeah, like as we're having this conversation, I'm like, all of those things are kind of like get it done first thing in the morning, because that's when my energy is high. And then by nighttime, it's like I'm winding down, I'm softening. I'm like, I don't know that I have any other than like a cup of tea. I like to do tea in the evening, a cup of tea, like my skincare, brushing, flossing. I mean, I guess the normal things. Yeah. Do you do yours in the evening? Like the height of your routine?
A half actually. I feel like I have that morning routine where it's like matcha in the morning and breakfast and like Bible study, meditation, stuff like that. But then, usually by the end of the day, if I'm going to do a sauna, I usually like to do it at night, because I hate like, I don't know, just showering after. I just kind of want to like shower after. I'll do the oil pulling after I'm brushing my teeth, etc. Then I'll do like red light combined with meditation, like Gusha rock. So kind of, my kids are also older though. So I have 12 and 8-year-old. So they're kind of living their best life. Like we're all basically roommates, all together. So they're kind of starting to be in that age where they like are living their like not separate life, but they're just, that teen when you don't really hang out with your family as much throughout the day. So it's nice to just be able to connect together in the evening, but it's definitely not as intense when they were little and you're trying to like really, really cherish that time. They're just like, Mom, I just really want to like go chill in my room.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm not complaining.
Well, something about that sounds really great. Trust me. Like I'm on like book number 7, song number 12, rocking a baby and like doing hand motions over here. So yeah, I think definitely my morning is like when I get 95% of it
Yeah.
done. And then my day is just, it's working and nutrition. I drink juice throughout the day. I still drink about 64 ounces of juice a
Nice.
day. And then evening, it's kind of those softer self-care wind down practices for sure.
Nice. Nice. So tell us, what do you eat in a day from morning to night? So we know you have juice all throughout the day.
I have juice all throughout the day. I love matcha. So I will normally have a matcha from the Alchemy Cafe in Austin. I pretty much get there every day.
So
We
good.
use organic Ensha matcha. So this is like, anyone can buy that. It's amazing. It's a family farm in Japan. I put coconut butter in it. I do collagen in it. I do an mushroom, like 10 mushroom adaptogenic blend in that. And then we use our Alchemy vanilla nut milk, which is like almonds, cashews, dates, cinnamon, sea salt. So like I'll have that in the morning, and that will usually sustain me until about mid-morning, because it has the collagen and the fat and all that in there.
Nice.
And then I'll have the juice, like 1 or 2 juices kind of mid-morning. For lunch, I stick with a lot of like, honestly, like basic foods. I do a lot of like smoothies, salads, juices. I've now, like literally in the past 3 weeks, have just started to add some animal protein back in, because again, like I said, I'm more in this maintenance phase.
Yeah.
When I was in the depths of my healing, I did raw for about 1.5 years, fully raw. Now I do mostly plant-based, but I'll do, like in the evenings is kind of when I'll have any animal protein. I'll do salmon. Like last night we did salmon with some chickpea pasta and like homemade pesto. We will do tacos. Like I love pssttt, like tortillas with like anything in it, like turkey or vegetables, or like literally put anything in that and I'm happy. Like, just, I don't know, tacos, you just roll something into a tortilla, you call it good. Like I said, I have that molecular hydrogen water ionizer. So I'm doing a lot of that now. I'm doing, about 64 ounces of that. So like between the juice and the intentional hydration, like I'm getting a good fill there, and then I just fill it in with like the highest quality plant foods, animal foods, some healthy fats, avocado oil and avocado, olive oil. Sometimes I'll do, excuse me, sometimes I'll do like a raw cheese from the farmer's market. I really focus on quality, really, over anything else now that I'm in this part of my healing, because I'm not actually like allergic to anything, like, or actually really sensitive. I just am really mindful of eating food that will nourish my body and not cause disease.
Yeah. And so tell us about this hydrogen real quick, this hydrogen water. What is the biggest perk of it? I'm so curious. You might just sell me in on
Yeah. So essentially when I left Hope for Cancer, which is the holistic cancer clinic that I went to, the last time I left there, I was like, okay, I'm already doing so much, but what can I really focus on? What can I really drill into and like adopt to focus on prevention? And they used a hydrogen ionizer there. So I was like, okay, why are they serving hydrogen water to all of their cancer patients? Where at Hope for Cancer, over 90% of their patients are stage 4. So I was kind of like, I was stage 2. And so I really just started digging into it. I went on PubMed. I love to research. I really love to understand the why. And molecular hydrogen is the smallest molecule in the universe. So, when you drink water and you have like that sloshy feeling in your belly and it just feels like you just like are not absorbing the water, or you talk to clients and they say like they drink and drink and drink and they still feel like they're not hydrated, it's because they're not absorbing it. So the molecule of hydrogen is so small that it allows our cells to absorb it rapidly, like almost immediately. It can cross the blood-brain barrier. So it allows us to get cellularly hydrated in a way that we really never have been before. Additionally, the hydrogen reduces oxidative stress and it removes free radicals from our body. So it boosts the antioxidants in our body, as well as removing toxins. So it's also just a way to support like that daily detox process. So what excited me about it is that everyone drinks water. everyone drinks water. So it was like, some people are like, Carly, I'm never going to do a coffee anymore. I'm never going to buy a juicer. So I really try and meet people where they are on their healing journey, because I have an online program called the Daily Detox. And so different things draw in different people. So getting to support people by just improving the water that they drink and making sure that they are deeply hydrated has been like very, very exciting for me.
That's amazing. And so how much is this machine? I may not have one by next week.
It is a little bit, it is quite of an investment, as you know, that like most of these tools are. It's about $4,800. They last 30 years. And so like for you, for us, we're a family of 5. And so for everyone, for that to be their water for the next 30 years, you can kind of do the math between like, what are you buying now? Or are you buying water, plastic water? It's acidic. Like start doing some pH testing. Like even the quote unquote, like alkaline water at the stores is acidic because it's sitting in plastic bottles. Normally that water has been in a plastic bottle for 2 years before it ever even gets to you. We know that heat
sitting in hot trucks.
The microplastics are leaching into the water. And so I just find it, I find supporting people's health and vitality so exciting because my life has been changed so radically from it. So I really love to meet people where they are. And I think that like water has been a really exciting in. And with all the things that I do, I have felt a very big difference in my energy levels since drinking the molecular hydrogen water.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
and I know you're doing a lot. And I know that like your journey with health and your cancer diagnosis probably answers this question, but people always ask like, what keeps you on track? What keeps you doing it? Why doesn't your life run you? You run your life. So, I mean, I think it's just from what you've told me, like you can tell like 1, you're passionate about it, and 2, you have a history that you want to make sure that you don't get another cancer diagnosis. So there's so much prevention and love for that, but would love to hear if you have anything else to add.
So the initial question is like, what keeps me going?
Yeah.
My kids. I mean, definitely my babies. I mean, cancer is it's a really scary world. It just feels like, I just remember praying like, okay, if I get through this, like if I come out on the other side, like I will dedicate my life to helping others not have to go through what I'm going through. And so it starts on a micro level for myself. And when I pour into myself, it allows me to pour into my children and into my husband, into the people in my home. It allows me to then pour into my community with Alchemy. My online community allows me to reach people around the world. And so it's like, this is it for me. Like, I was already into this. Like I was a health coach. I was a yoga teacher. Like granted, I wasn't like, it wasn't a radical career shift. I was already very passionate about this, but now I have a personal experience. Like I am unshakable because I see what happens when you really double down and commit to your health and vitality. Like cancer is probably the biggest thing that people go through that feels like the biggest health challenge to them. And I have 100% confirmation that adding in these modalities will support your healing journey. Even if you decide to go chemo, radiation, surgery, they will make chemo more effective. They will reduce the side effects. They will help you recover faster. So I'm not talking like, not everyone needs to say like, there's this beautiful melding of this integrative world where you work with a Western medical doctor and then you bring in these therapies that support your wellness and vitality. And so like, this is it for me. Like serving people in this way lights me up so much. And so I think like, if people can find something that really lights their heart on fire, like, trust me, they're very difficult days. We have a big team. It's a lot of people to manage. Like I'm dealing with things I never thought I would, and I've never run a business before, like of this magnitude, like I'm figuring this out, but they're I'm winging it, girl. But like, they're the problems that everyone's going to have problems. So it's like, figure out what type of problems that you want to deal with. And these are the types of problems that I want to deal with. So yeah, finding that thing that just lights you up makes all the difference, really.
For sure. Do you have any favorite mental health tools or self-development, like books? I know you mentioned, and podcasts, things like that. I know you mentioned a couple. Do you have any more that you love to turn to?
Joe Dispenza is probably my biggest one, like his walking meditation. So that combines 2 of my favorite things, which is mindfulness and meditation and movement. You can get those off of his website. Nice. And so you're essentially listening to something as you move your body and you're putting your body into an empowered state. walking as a whole, like walking hands down is probably my favorite mental health activity.
Nice.
So my baby boy is waking up, so I'm going to turn his monitor off before I go in there. But yeah, walking, meditation, and community. Oh my gosh. I actually,
Yeah.
you know what? Take everything I just said. Like-minded community, like find the people that celebrate you, that like find your people. And the way that I found my people was by becoming my people, by like speaking my truth, and truth that really like had the potential to be polarizing in regards to
Yeah.
what I was doing, is like doing all this natural and holistic and alternative stuff. But by putting myself out there and really being very clear on my truth, what I wanted to create, who I wanted to be, what I wanted to embody, what I wanted to align with, it started to bring those people to me. And people
Yeah.
do say that, like, how did you create the community you have? It's like, if you're having trouble finding it, be it, become
Yeah.
it, lead the community that you want to be a part of, be the voice that people come to. Yeah, community, movement, and Joe Dispenza's walking meditations.
Perfect. All right. We'll do a quick lightning round where it's just
Okay.
either or, and then how can we support you? All right. So fruit or veggie?
Wait, what was the first word?
Fruit.
Oh, fruit or veggie.
Always. Book or podcast?
Podcast.
This is going to be an easy one. Juice or smoothie?
Juice.
Mountain or beach?
Ooh, beach.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So tell us, how can we support you? Where can we find you? Give us all the goods.
Yeah, so my website is carlybrownwellness.com. I have a program called the Daily Detox, which is an 8-week detox course. You can join that at any time and move through it at your own pace. We cover things like hydration, coffee enemas, nutrition, juicing, castor oil packs, lymphatic cleansing, all the goods to get you started on your detox journey. I have a podcast as well called Here for Healing. And then I also have my juice company, Alchemy Juice. So it's alchemyorganicjuice.com. We also ship nationwide. But if and when you are in Austin, make sure you come to the cafe and say hi, because I spend lots of time there. So, and my Instagram is Carly Loves Kale.
Awesome. Thank you, Carly, for spending time with us today.
Thank you so much. This was fun.